Rate of change of depth with respect to clock time is negative 0.013 y, where y is depth in centimeters, right? And the rate is in centimeters per second. So, if y is 100, what is the rate? First of all, y equals 100 means, well, y is the depth in centimeters, so that means the depth is 100 centimeters, right? Now, the rate, well, you have a rule for rate. Once you know y, you can find the rate, can't you? Okay, so we can find the rate. So whatever y is, we plug it in here and we get the rate. In this case, if y is 100, multiply that here, we get negative 1.3, and that means rate in centimeters per second. So the rate is negative 1.3 centimeters per second, right? Okay, now, if this continues for 5 seconds at this rate, how much is the depth going to change? Well, the rate is the rate of change of depth with respect to clock time, right? And you want to find the change in the depth. Well, the rate is change in y over change in t, right? And you try to find the change in depth, which is the change in y, so the change in y is going to be the rate of change of y with respect to t multiplied by the change in t. Just because what we did this morning, of course, you need to, let that sink in a little bit. So the delta y is the rate times delta t. So we get negative 1.3 centimeters per second for the rate, multiplied by 5 seconds gives us negative 6.5 centimeters. That's a pretty easy calculation scheme, but you want to be sure at every point you know why you're doing what you're doing in terms of the definition of rate of change, in terms of the meanings of all these quantities. Having obtained that, you can find the new depth because you know the depth was 100 and it's changed by negative 6.5 centimeters. So it's very easy to say, well, 100 and negative 6.5 centimeters gives you 93.5 centimeters. Having done that, you can go back here, plug it in. Well, you can come back here and answer the same questions. So you're just kind of looping around these 3 questions. What's the rate? How much depth change in 5 seconds? What will the new depth be? Okay? So you plug this back in here, and you can take that then and multiply by, that's your y value. Multiply that here to get your rate. Multiply that by 5 seconds, you get your change of depth, etc. But you want to understand in every step why you're doing it, including as well as what you're doing. Now, we got into a wonderful discussion. I loved it. And it's going to lead to all kinds of good things on Monday if nobody gets hurt. Now, I did interpose the question, okay, what if the rate was negative 0.013 times the square root of y? Okay? Now, you don't have to work that out. Monday we'll be able to use Excel to work this out in all kinds of ways, okay? After you know what the process means and after you know what every step of the process is and why you're doing it. Okay? Yeah?
Can I get Monday's homework?
Well, everybody's going to get that. You need to leave?
No, I'm not going to be able to do it Monday, so I need to get.
You're not going to be able to. Oh, you missed Monday?
No, I'm not missing Monday. I just won't be able to do it Monday.
He's saying he's not able to do his homework Monday night.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay, well, we'll deal with that question as soon as I understand it.